Yeah. Hello, my gorgeous, beautiful, wonderful queen bees. It is your girl Amanda, the bust artist. Welcome back to my channel. And I know what you're thinking, Amanda, what is going on with your hair? I'm trying to let it grow. It's the equivalent of a very rebellious teenager. It will not stay in place no matter how much hairspray I spray at it. Teenagers don't like hairspray, right? So today I wanted to talk about a long-standing issue I've been hearing from a lot of people that deal with acrylic paints: getting muddy colors. If you have ever started painting and had the unfortunate incident of creating colors that just looked like nice brown poopy mud, you have come to the right place, because I'm going to tell you why that happens and how to avoid it. We're going to teleport into my computer where I'm going to show you the basic theory of why you get muddy colors. So here we go. Hello and welcome to my computer. So in order to understand muddy colors and how we get them, first we have to understand our good old color wheel. Most importantly, the primary colors: red, yellow, and blue. Okay, now hold up. I know what you're going to ask me. Amanda, what happened to the cyan, magenta, and yellow primaries? What about those? Huh? That has been a long battle with a lot of artists about which ones are the true primary colors. When it comes to understanding muddy colors, the same thing applies to those primaries as well. Even cyan, magenta, and yellow have their biases too. Everybody's in the same circle here, folks. So, back to the show. When these three colors are combined, they will in fact form dark, muddy colors, or in some cases, the color black. This is super important for you to remember, like really important. I actually included a picture of this guy stacking rocks just to let you know that this is very important. Anyways, in the world of paint and physical media, it is actually really hard to get paint primaries that are exactly yellow and exactly blue and exactly red. They are not pure. And this is because the colors in paint colors have a little bit of a color bias to them, meaning that each of the colors red, blue, and yellow tend towards certain colors on the color wheel. So if we take a look at our continuous color spectrum, you'll see that in the middle of the color wheel is the color red. But in a lot of paint pigments, you'll find that there are some reds that tend a little more towards the oranges, like a red orange or kind of like a scarlet red. And then you get some other reds that like to tend a little more towards the violet, kind of like a crimson red. And the same goes for yellow. You get yellows that tend a little more towards the greens, kind of like a lemon yellow, versus more of the yellow oranges, like a yellow ochre. Then you get your blues, where you have a blue that kind of tends towards the more blue violets, like ultramarine blue. And then you get other types of blues that tend more towards the greens, like a cerulean blue. Okay, cool. So we saw the color wheel, we saw that colors have bias, but so what? What does this have to do with muddy colors? Well, my dear Queen Bee, I'm going to show you. Now, let's say we want to make the color purple. If you remember back in elementary school or even preschool, we knew that you just had to mix red and blue to make purple. Because we don't live in a perfect world where colors are exactly what they mean, we have to deal with colors that have certain biases. You have to choose between a red orange, a blue violet, a red violet, and a blue green. And combining these types of colors together will give you different looking purples. Some purples may be vibrant, while other purples look super muddy. Now, here is the key to what makes colors really muddy. If you want to get the most vibrant colors, the thing to do is look for paint colors that tend to bias towards the same part of the color wheel. So if you want to make the most vibrant purple, I'm going to want to grab a blue that is tending more towards the violets, like an ultramarine, and I want to pick a red that's tending more towards the violets, like a crimson red. If I combine those two colors together, I'm going to get my most saturated, vibrant purple. Conversely, if I want to get the most muddy colors, if, for example, I want to really get a toned down looking purple, the thing I got to do is find a blue that is tending more towards the green-yellow side, and I got to find a red that's leaning more towards the orange-yellow side as well. And what ends up happening here is a very muddy, dark looking purple. So why did that happen? Because I chose two primary colors that were tending more towards the yellows, I therefore introduced a third color into the color mixing, which is the color yellow. And if you remember from when we talked about a few seconds ago, when you combine blue, yellow, and red together, they make dark, muddy colors. Remember that? Remember the guy was stacking the things on the rocks and all the important stuff, all that, blah, blah, blah? When I choose the colors that tend more towards the violets, I'm going to get the best violets. If I choose colors that tend to pull away from that part of the color wheel and introducing other colors into the mix, I'm definitely going to get a lot more muddy colors. So with that being said, let's actually do a demo and see this in action. So here I have a lemon yellow, yellow ochre, scarlet red, crimson red, cerulean blue, ultramarine blue. These are all considered the primary colors. Each have a little bias towards a specific color. So we're going to go ahead and take a look as to what that looks like on the color wheel itself. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with lemon yellow. And if I take a look at the lemon yellow and according to the wheel, right, this yellow is kind of tending towards the greens, right? I'm already seeing that it's kind of matching like right around this area here. So it is yellow, kind of tending more towards the greens. Let's give yellow ochre a try. If I take the yellow ochre and I bring it over here, really pulling it on this side here, I'm really seeing that it biases towards like the reds and the oranges. You can see that lemon yellow just wants to pull this way and the yellow ochre wants to pull this way because it contains more of that orange in it. So this one is our scarlet. Where do we see the pull happening? It wants to pull me a little bit more towards the oranges here. I got my crimson. Now where is it kind of pulling me? The crimson is picking up some of that purple that is in this part of the color wheel. Here is my cerulean blue. You know, if I go towards the purples, it doesn't quite look right, but I feel like I see green in here. It's pulling me a little this way. So my ultramarine blue, if I place it over by the green area, that doesn't look quite right. It almost looks like it's starting to oppose it. If I go here, it's just slightly leaning a little towards this way on the color wheel itself. And obviously, if you compare it to cerulean, cerulean definitely looks like it has more green in it than the ultramarine, which definitely has a bit more of a purple to it. If I wanted to make a very brilliant violet, for example, I'm going to want to choose the colors that are tending towards the violet on the color wheel. So I would be choosing crimson and the ultramarine blue to make that color. So let's give it a shot and see what happens. And look at that. That's a pretty decent looking purple. Now, what if I decided I wanted to take Scarlet Red and combine that with the ultramarine blue? What would happen then? I get this kind of purple, okay? It's a different shade, right? Looks pretty good actually, but I'm seeing that this purple is a lot more of a deeper purple than this one here. Looks more like a reddish purple to me. What if I were to choose a blue that was more on the green side to a red that was more on the orange side? What kind of color would I get? That's the kind of purple I would get. So you're already seeing that there's like 3 different types of purples you could make. And so far, I guess that like the truest purple you can get is this one. Like this is looking like a really nice purple. And then they all start to kind of like pull away from the purple color. And that's how you can avoid getting muddy colors in your paint mixing. My biggest suggestion is to do a color wheel with the colors you have on hand and understand how the colors mix together. And then decide whether you need to go get a new type of paint to help you really achieve the most vibrant or more muddy colors that you're really looking for. And my biggest personal belief of all time is you can make any colors using just the primaries, whether you're using the red, yellow, blue model or the CMYK model. But the fact still remains, you have to look for the right types of paints that are biasing towards the various colors on the color wheel to get you your most brilliant or your most muddy looking colors. My biggest suggestions would be to work with only 6 types of primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, each of which have their own color bias on both sides of the wheel. That way you can really get a full spectrum of colors to use. And over here is a list of all the primaries that I would recommend you use. You really only need these primary colors to start, and from there you have a whole arsenal of paint that you can mix and really get a whole plethora of colors. If you guys found this video helpful, please be sure to give this video a like and to subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button, you know what to do, so that you can see more fun art tips, tricks, tutorials, challenges, pop art, and all that other fun, zany art stuff. And remember always to love yourselves and have fun with your art. I'll see you all next time. Bye!